So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire.
Hey everybody! So episode 16 of Teen Wolf Season 3 just aired and it was amazing. Basically, the episode starts off where Isaac is laying on the floor and Mr. Argent and Allison just get into the room and find him. He's ice cold, he's not moving hardly, and Mr. Argent has to force him to change in order to heal or whatever. So, and he explains about the masked figures, and he talks about how the eyes were like this greenish yellow, like fireflies. And Mr. Argent basically asked them to give him 24 hours to figure things out before telling Scott and everybody. And so that's really interesting. Mr. Argent goes off and he has one of those masks and it's all broken. That's a really interesting part of the whole thing. One of the parts I really liked in this episode was at the beginning as well, where Scott, Stiles, and Lydia are trying to explain to Stiles and Scott's dads how they knew where to go to find Kira and save her and all this. It's really, really funny. They all play off of each other well. It's just a very funny scene. One thing that's really cool, we have never had a Halloween episode on Teen Wolf, and this is a Halloween episode. It's not really talked about much. The only real big Halloween-ish thing that happens in it is Derek is approached by some children, some trick-or-treaters, and he pulls out some candy and gives it to them, and then he wolfs out in front of them and scares the crap out of them. That was pretty funny. Mean of Derek, but it's typical Derek move. So the power is out all over the town, and Danny was planning to have a blacklight party, and Aiden and Ethan decide, because they think Derek's out of town, to crash Derek's place and have the party there. It's bad. It's not a good idea on their part. Derek's probably gonna beat them down later on about that, or just rip them to pieces with words. So we find out some interesting things about Kira this episode. I'm assuming she's the Kitsune. She shows Scott that when a photo's taken of her with a flash, there's like this fiery stuff around her, and later on we see like a fox type form. Scott explains that to her as well, and he says it looks like armor, like it's protecting you. And I mean, we don't know how the Kitsune is going to be portrayed in this series. I've seen in books and different things how they can be evil. I've mostly seen them evil. I don't think Kira is evil, but who knows. We spent a lot of time at that party, at the blacklight party, and we finally see Isaac and Allison kind of about to kiss again, and that doesn't end up happening. Because, well, let me backtrack for a second. Lydia sees those masked figures at the party, and she goes, like, she's like, starts looking for help, and she can't really find any help, so I don't know why she goes out. I was like afraid she was gonna get killed in the episode. I was so scared. She's my favorite female character. She goes out on like the balcony. I didn't even realize the loft had a balcony. But she goes out there, and I'm afraid she's gonna get like thrown over or something. I'm just like on the edge of my seat, freaking out. And the masked figures, they come, and she's about to do her banshee scream, and they like stop her. And oh my gosh, it was like freaky the way she like gets she goes like catatonic, and like just the look on her face. It's like it looks like it's hurting her. I'm sure it did hurt. But while that's going on, Ethan is attacked as well by the masked figures, like in some closet or little area, and Derek, he was attacked as well. So that's why he hasn't shown up to shut down the party yet. We find when Allison's about to kiss Isaac, she finds this, like, a branded little number 5 behind his ear. And everybody that has been attacked by those figures so far has a little 5. Whatever, I don't know what the 5 is about. 5 days to live, 5 victims, 5 something. I don't know. I really want to know what the 5s mean. But anyways, Stiles, I have to point on this up. The girl Caitlin, she was in season 3A. Her girlfriend got killed. She was one of the virgin sacrifices. She's at the party and she's kind of like kissing on Stiles and all this stuff. And then, but of course his fun is spoiled when she sees his key, that he doesn't even know what this key is from. He found it earlier in the episode on his key ring. She like asks if he's been messing with chemicals or anything, because apparently certain ones, or all of them, I don't know, they glow in blacklight. So he ends up leaving and going off to figure out what the hell is going on with him and how he has that key and what it goes to. We see Scott, Kira, and Stiles go to the police station to get Kira's phone because of what happens when a flash picture is taken of her, because Barrow had taken pictures of her. So she doesn't want the police to see those photos, and because, I mean, she doesn't know what is going on with her and what those photos mean. So they go and they, after a lot of craziness and trying to get her phone charged and everything, they get it deleted off of there. But while that's happening, Scott's dad gets there and Stiles has to, like, distract him in order for them to have time to delete the photos. And it's really an interesting scene, because Stiles tells Scott's dad that he and his dad know what Scott's dad doesn't want anyone else to know. I don't know. There's some kind of secret, and now I need to know what this secret is. Now, back at the party, they had got, Scott and Kira had gone, and Stiles, they all went to the party, and we're back at the present time, what I was talking about before. So Stiles is left. A lot of people have been attacked and all this stuff. Derek shows up, trashes the DJ station. He yells everybody get out. Then they all have the showdown with the masked figures. Kira figures out about Scott and his werewolfness because his eyes are glowing red and his fangs are out. And when they're about to really, really start fighting even more, the sun comes up and the figures dissipate. I guess they can't be in the sun or in the light or whatever. So that's interesting right there. And right then, Isaac tells Allison that her father's 24 hours are up. So I guess that's where they're about to tell everybody about the figures. We then see Mr. Argent walk into his house and he, like, falls to the floor. I guess maybe he's been attacked as well by the figures. But what really blew my mind was the ending when Stiles goes to that, I don't know if it was I think it was like some kind of I don't know, it was one of the, like, a room full of chemicals. I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyways, he goes into a room at the school with tons of chemicals and figures out that key that he had was that was what the key was for. He figures out, he writes on the board the same numbers that brought out Kira, the Kira's name, and he figures out that he left the message for Barrow. So I don't know, Stiles has an alternate personality, if he's being possessed, what's going on with Stiles, but poor Stiles he can't catch a break, poor thing. Like, and it's like every time he, like, starts to hook up with a girl, something goes wrong and he gets screwed over. Poor Stiles. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this recap and review. Continue to watch and subscribe, like this video, and let me know what y'all thought of the episode. I'd love to hear about it. Bye.